What's up, everybody? I'm a teleworker. Welcome to Misunderstood and Underrated. This is a new series that I'm starting where I'm going to go in and break down either stuff from movies or whole movies that I think are either misunderstood or underrated. And the first one we're going to do, since the Batman just came out, is Ben Affleck's Batman.
Jesus, Alfred, count the dead. Thousands of people. What's next? Millions? He has the power to wipe out the entire human race, and if we believe there's even a 1% chance that he is our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute certainty. And we have to destroy him.
Now, there is a large amount of people who hate Ben Affleck's Batman. Most of that hate comes from the fact that people have really only grown up with the mainstream versions of Batman that do not kill, and the biggest issue that they had with his Batman is that he kills. What a lot of people seemingly do not understand is that he's based off of the Dark Knight Returns Batman. There's a lot of people who claim that Batman doesn't break his rule in Dark Knight Returns. It's not true, okay? Because that's the whole arc between him and the Joker in that book, is that Batman is pushed past the point of no return and he's forced to break his rules.
Go ahead. Say this has never happened to you before.
Shut up.
I win. I made you lose control. And they'll kill you for it.
This is Batman after like 20 or 30 years, and he's lost everyone he's ever loved. Robin is dead. He still suffers from PTSD from his parents' death. After all these years, he still hasn't come to terms with it. And this is seemingly Bruce sometime after he's broken his code. And the thing that I like the most about his Bruce Wayne is that he, despite how tortured he is, he still has a really good duality between both Bruce Wayne and Batman, which I feel like is one of the hardest things that actors struggle with in this role. Like, for example, most actors are either a really good Bruce Wayne or they're a really good Batman, but it's very rare that they're both. Christian Bale was the best Bruce Wayne in my opinion, but his Batman suffers and gets worse while his trilogy goes on. But Ben Affleck, he plays the playboy side of Bruce Wayne, the depressed side of Bruce Wayne, and the angry side of Batman, and the focused side of Batman, which I really, really like. He also has an extremely similar character arc throughout the Zack Snyder movies as Dark Knight Returns. For example, Batman is pushed past the point of no return and has begun breaking his own rules in order to fight crime. After he's pushed past that limit, from his perspective, he is forced to fight Superman.
Bruce, this is idiotic. You don't understand. There's no time. I understand.
But I didn't have to go easy on you. A different binding agent, a stronger mix. I want you to remember that. I wanted to remind you to stay out of my way. In all the years to come, in your most private moments, I want you to remember the one man who beat you.
You were never a god. You were never even a man.
And when he defeats Superman, it pushes him to realize that Batman is a symbol that spreads hope throughout the city of Gotham for the people who really need him the most. So when you see Ben Affleck's Batman, who is broken and he kills people and he struggles with these things and He hates himself and he sees himself as a criminal. He says it himself.
New rules. We're criminals, Alfred. We've always been criminals. Nothing's changed.
And after defeating Superman, he realizes he spent all this time being Batman for almost selfish reasons. And it leads him on a new path where he forms the Justice League and he kind of brings the world more hope, and he realizes that Batman is a symbol, and he begins to believe in himself and believe in the team, and ultimately it leaves Bruce with the conclusion that Batman is not his legacy. It's what Batman creates that is his legacy.
I spent 10 years looking for a good death. This'll be a good life.
You'll be here, Alfred, I know it.
What makes you so sure?
Faith, Alfred. Faith.
And that, to me, is the most powerful arc of any Batman story. A lot of the Batman movies have attempted to replicate that arc, but I feel like, despite the fact that the Zack Snyder movies struggle with a lot of things for various reasons, from Warner Brothers interference or just some ideas just not working as well as they had hoped and things like that, the Batman arc is the strongest part of all of those movies. And I feel that Ben Affleck's Batman was looked at unfairly because he was put in this scope where you have to compare him to the most critically acclaimed superhero trilogy of all time. And they didn't take him seriously as Batman at first. People were finding any excuse at all to hate him. And while he does have more fans now than he did when Batman vs. Superman first came out, there is still a very large group of people who refuse to accept that there is any character there at all. They just hate him. In my opinion, in terms of like just raw Batman, like ripped straight from the page, Ben Affleck is still the best Batman that we've ever had. And Robert Pattinson is close. And I respect the people who like Robert Pattinson more. That's perfectly fine. There's this weird negative attitude around Ben Affleck's Batman specifically. I mean, there are people out there who say he is as bad as George Clooney's Batman, and that is just straight up mean. I feel as though if Ben Affleck had gotten his solo movie after his redemption arc like they had planned, it would have been a totally different story. I think people would have a completely different feeling towards him. I think that a lot of the stuff that Zack Snyder did, it was new to the movies, but it was not new to the comics, and I don't think the general audience was ready for it. And I think that years from now, more and more people will begin to love his Batman. Another great thing about Ben Affleck's Batman is his suit. His suit is ripped directly from Dark Knight Returns. A lot of people don't like the really fat bat symbol, and that's perfectly fine if it's not your favorite bat symbol, whatever. But in terms of Batman costumes, it is the most accurate costume we've ever had. Pattinson's is badass, and it really gives that like Arkham games kind of vibe, but Ben Affleck's gives like a really comic book kind of vibe. But something I really appreciated Ben Affleck's Batman for was his costumes. He builds the metal suit like in Dark Knight Returns. He has the gray and black suit like in Dark Knight Returns. They just borrowed so much imagery of his Batman from the comics. And I feel like they haven't done that much of that specifically in the other movies. It seems like everybody is trying so hard to create their own version of Batman, whereas this one is just trying to be Batman. And I really respect Ben Affleck's Batman for that. Also, I feel like even after seeing Robert Pattinson's Batman, Ben Affleck's Batman, to me, still has the best fight scene of all time for Batman. The warehouse scene is so raw and so like savage and brutal, and it's so Batman. Like, he uses all his gadgets. He fires the disruptor gun to break all of their assault rifles so that he can go in and fight them. He's pulling them with this grappling hook. He throws the batarangs into them, and he really uses his entire arsenal while he fights, which I like a lot because every other Batman in the past, 99% of the time when they get into a fight with whatever goons are in the area, they literally will just like block a punch and then knock them out in one hit, and then that's it. Like, it's not really like a fight. This Batman, he's really fighting. Like, it feels like he is fighting for his life every time I watch that scene. Like, when they're dragging him by his cape and they stab him in the shoulder, and you see that rage bubble up when he's like, how fucking dare you? It's like the rage hidden beneath Ben Affleck's Batman, to me, is better than the rage within the other Batman actors. Pattinson is a very close second, though. He really nails that. I was very impressed with him. But I still feel like Ben Affleck has handled Batman better. Well, I'm going to go ahead and leave this one here. Comment down below what you guys think of Ben Affleck's Batman and what other characters you want me to talk about for this series specifically. What do you think is either misunderstood or underrated? And who is your guys' favorite Batman? And what do you like and dislike about Ben Affleck? I'll see you guys later.